lot of our participants will be coming to us with new challenges due to the COVID pandemic. It is our role to help them grow, develop, and learn new skills to help ease them back into a routine of camp. One way to support learning a new skill is through the TSLD process. So what does that actually mean? Tell them the skill, show them how to do it, let them try, and then talk about it afterwards. Before we work through this process, however, there are a few skills that we need as staff. Patience, creativity, communication, discipline, and flexibility. With our skills, we can help teach others these skills through activity planning and environmental modifications. What if I told you to sit down and draw a shark? You may struggle, right? What if I said, let's first experiment with materials, shading, shapes? You may feel less pressure and perhaps even pick up some skills that will eventually help you draw a shark. When planning your activities, you can build upon skills throughout the week. Building confidence and skills over time will have a higher success rate for your participants while easing frustration. So you plan and facilitate activities that built upon each skill every day. Now what? It's time to evaluate and assess as a team. Ask yourself, was the skill learned? What was the outcome? What new skills could be built upon them now? And how does this skill impact their behavior? This may be where your team decides to keep practicing skills, or maybe your participants are ready to move on to the next phase. Take kickball, for example. You planned activities all week on how to kick and throw. Now as a team, you need to decide if these skills have been acquired enough to play an actual game of kickball. Hey guys, later this week we're going to be playing a game of kickball. In order to play kickball though, we need to learn how to throw and kick. So today we're going to do some throwing games. So Kat, I want you to throw that ball into that blue square. Good job! All right, who's next? All right, Chloe, I want you to throw the ball into the blue square. Good job! All right, who's next? Caitlin! All right, Caitlin, throw it into the blue square. All right! Looks like you guys are ready for kicking tomorrow.
With all that said, I would like to share with you a model that can assist you in planning and facilitating activities that support skill acquisition. This model is called flow. The concept of flow is that your participant learns best when in a state of flow. This means that they are challenged enough, but also not too challenged that they become frustrated. If you look at this model, you will see that if a skill is high, but the difficulty is low, a participant may become bored during your activity. Conversely, if you have a participant with low skill and an activity with high difficulty, you may see anxiety. Your participants will learn new skills much more easily if they are in a state of flow. Not only will this help with the skill acquisition, but you may see a decrease in behaviors or a decrease in support needs. Being in flow also enables the participant to feel good about themselves. And as a skill is acquired, you can start to increase the difficulty of your activities.
So how can we change the contents of our consciousness? One of the best ways to do this is to put ourselves in a state of optimal experience called flow. Csikszentmihalyi describes flow as the state in which people are so involved in an activity that nothing else seems to matter. He goes on to say that concentration is so intense that there is no attention left over to think about anything irrelevant or to worry about problems. Self-consciousness disappears and the sense of time becomes distorted. And you've probably experienced this before, and it's absolutely one of the best feelings in the world. If you're working on your business, you might be so focused on what you're doing that 12 hours might pass and you have no idea. All of a sudden you look up and you realize you haven't had any food, you haven't thought about anything else. The only thing that you could focus on was your business. And the same thing applies to so many other activities, whether you're a rock climber focused on climbing your new record, or a master pianist composing your new masterpiece. It's an amazing feeling. You're so immersed into what you love doing, into what you're really good at, that your brain simply can't focus on other things. You're not worrying about stupid things, you're not regretting what you did yesterday or stressing about what you'll do tomorrow. It's absolutely one of the best feelings in the world. So, if we look at the flow diagram, here's how you put yourself in the state of flow. You don't want what you're doing to be too challenging, otherwise you'll have anxiety. You don't want what you're doing to be too easy for your skills either, otherwise you'll be bored. But it's when you balance these two that you end up in the flow channel. You're striving towards the upper right corner constantly. You increase your challenge, you get better. You get better, you increase your challenge. And the more you move toward that direction, the more intense the state of flow gets. So this is not really a how-to book, but our goal should be to find what it is that we love and then keep getting better at it and keep making it more challenging. Or in other words, the main goal is to spend as much of your life as you possibly can in the state of flow, because that is where you find this unbelievable ecstasy. And Csikszentmihalyi gives an example of the Indians in the Shuswap region of Canada who would settle down in a place filled with resources, and life was good and they had everything they needed. They had all the food and fish where they were, but the elders would make sure that the entire village would just pack up and move to a new location every 25 or 30 years. This way they knew they would have new places to explore and hunt and fish and new challenges to overcome. And it's a great story to keep in mind when you think about how most people just want to settle down in front of their TV for the rest of their lives. And in a lot of my videos, I criticize being in front of the TV all night or spending your entire day on your Facebook feed. And I often get people who tell me, well, what if that makes the person happy? And the answer is, sitting on Facebook all day will not make anyone genuinely happy. If you pick a person who spends his entire day in front of the TV, he's probably not going to be the most exciting, happy, ecstatic person. So let's take a look at the graph again. Looking at your Facebook all day or watching TV puts you in the lower left corner of the graph, which is known as the area of apathy. There's no challenge involved, there's no skill involved, you're apathetic. And when you're not completely apathetic, you're probably sitting there bored or worrying about everything there is to worry about. So move away from that. Move away from the boredom, apathy, and worry, and move towards ecstasy, which is what you'll experience when you hit the state of optimal experience called flow.
Good work, everyone! You passed. Better hurry your next course, Building Connections 203.